we approached it really with three pillars in mind. One is being very deliberate in terms of what we wanted to focus on. And in our case, we chose growth was the core of it. And in that case, we focused on the customer. We wanted to really create a customer-centric organization. And then internally, we wanted one team. We were actually when we had created our vision and values, it was really three separate companies operating independently. We were pulling them together. And what we wanted to do was pull those companies together. So we created a concept called One Team, and we wanted it to be a very highly collaborative culture, working across the organization to go find opportunities to grow. So one was just being deliberate. Two was just keeping it really simple. If you look at our vision statement that we created, it's really incredibly simple. It's just to become our customer's most trusted partner every day. And that includes service service, compelling products, and whatever it takes. And in some cases, it's just advice, but it's to be their most trusted partner. And we talk about this all the time, and the simplicity aspect of it allows us to involve and include it in every conversation that we're having. And then even on the values, we didn't create a list of values that people had to try to memorize. We simply said talented, honest, passionate people working together to win and do the right thing. And really, again, trying to get our focus was one team, highly collaborative team. And so it was about working together, and it was just talented, honest, passionate people working together to win. And so we kept it really, really simple so that people could remember it. But probably the most important thing is we knew that culture was really less about the actual words and what we were defining, as much as it was about just action. And culture is really just a collection of the actions you take as an organization, because that's what people see, that's what people feel, and that's where the rubber hits the road at the end of the day. So the first thing that we did when we created our vision around being our customer's most trusted partner is we invested there. So they saw that the dollars went there. We immediately created a key accounts team, both in the sales side and the customer service side. There were 15 people that we added to the organization, said this is really, really important to our organization. And we continued to invest in that team and grow that team. And people saw where those resources went. And then, we invested in the capital budget. So all of a sudden you saw things like a new website that was designed to make the customer's experience better. We saw things like our freestyle sublimation builder, which made it a lot easier for our customers to create products. We saw EDI and API technologies that again enhanced the cut. That's where our budget was going towards customer-centric opportunities. And then, of course, we built metrics, and what we looked at on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis was entirely customer focused. So people knew they knew what daily sales. Everybody knew what daily sales were to our customers. They knew our daily out of stock rates, and they knew our daily call abandon rates. Those are really important customer metrics for us. And we talk about them. It's the first thing we get in the morning. We actually have a stand-up call that we talk about them, and it just becomes something that we talk about. It's serving our customers, and then lastly, and maybe most importantly, what I'd say is it's all those trade-off decisions. Your team and your organization is looking at the decisions that you make, and it's literally all these little decisions that we make throughout our day on should we do something that benefits the customer or has some internal benefit, cost savings, factory efficiency, short-term gains, and every one of those decisions has to be geared towards whatever vision, whatever your vision is. And in this case, again, ours was customer focused. So we made sure people saw when it came down to those trade-offs that we were picking the vision first, and that was the most important. It's like I said, culture is about action, and every single action that you take really defines your culture. guess I thought about this question a little bit, and there's sort of four areas that I think are incredibly important. The first is just simply staying true to who you are. You spend a lot of time creating the vision and the values and the culture of your organization. The formula that you've created is adding value, that repeatable formula. So it's incredibly important that no matter what, you stay true to who you are. And that stays consistent, and that's what we've tried to do throughout this whole thing is not just wildly sort of reinvent our organization. If you're still sort of in that mode of trying to understand sort of who you are, then this is a great time to go find that. But if it's well defined, there's no need to go change it. The second thing is just creating transparency. These sort of times here, it's tough because we got a large organization with over 2,000 employees. So it's important that people know what's going on. There's just so much uncertainty within the company. People are hearing things on the news and things are changing sort of constantly. And it's incredibly important to be transparent. We've tried to create a culture of transparency from the beginning. It's one of those where we send out information. Previously, before I came to Augusta, they didn't allow, for instance, like financial information to the sales team, and that's incredibly important information for a salesperson to do their job. And so we started that, and it started to build trust. It creates transparency, and it's just something we've always done. And particularly in times like this where it's really, really challenging, sharing information on where the company is, where we're trying to go, what we're doing, is incredibly important. And then the third thing I'd say is don't forget to pick up your team. It's you actually have to say the words. I think there's a lot of times leaders sort of believe that whatever they're thinking, that everybody else around them must be thinking the same thing, and it's simply not true. Jack Welch, old CEO of GE, he was very famous for sort of over communicating. You can never over communicate the important things. And there's nothing more important than telling your people that we're going to get through this, and we're going through a difficult time, but this is temporary. We're doing this and this and this, and ultimately we're going to come out on top. And people need to hear those words. It's incredibly important to remind people that things are going to get better, and you are going to get through it, and they're doing the right things in order to get there. And then lastly, it's investing still, but in a targeted way. There's a great Harvard Business Review article that sort of talks about in a recession, sort of what are the best strategies that you should be taking as an organization. And it looks at sort of the all in, the big bad bet the farm kind of strategy. Then there's the shut the doors and close all the windows and just preserve as much cash as possible. And then there's something in between, which is invest in the areas that are really the most important areas, and then hold off on everything else. And they went back empirically and said, okay, which of these strategies actually did the best over time? And it was the one in the middle that did the best. And this is, this what we're going through here is just really just a deeper recession, longer. Well, it depends on, I guess, on the time frame. But I mean, we're going through a very difficult time as an industry. It's a downturn. And making sure you take the right approach is incredibly important. So we chose that middle bucket and said we're gonna invest in the areas that are incredibly important to our organization, and then we're going to conserve cash in other areas. And we feel pretty good with it. We feel like where we stand right now, we've invested in a lot of areas that were important, but we just weren't getting to during prior to, because the urgent was taking over the important, and now we're in a zone where we've really invested in some really, really important areas and feel very, very good with where we stand as an organization. So it's investing in the right areas, and making sure you continue to invest during this time. And those are the four. That's what I'd say is stay true to who you are, create transparency. Don't forget to pick up your team and invest in targeted growth areas.